The Thin Fold by Clarity, an outsider book. Read by Ravens Hussein. Music by Gabriel Sound. The magic of story is handed down, and this is the thin fold of awareness, fully digested, as place within our longing for a need called home. Our place of real exposed to its own desire. The thin fold. Open the mark. Flatten the bump. Come into the silence that picks away the rugged, worn, indigestible. Become the whole I presence of putting down the slice of death, defied and unnecessary. Open the way through ease, bear the plan, and become the spontaneous. Push through the thick until it is thin. Once thin, fold into a fine-tooth comb. Keep the truth between your teeth and let all else go. Be willing to be wise. Be the wise one out and find the reality of thin. A crease that bones its way through the silence. Peel away the thick hair of the mind that does not dust or visit itself. To dust your world is to visit its resonance and make thin its permanence. To layer a thin place for your need so it can face into your birthing womb of imagination, so you can close the door to your sacred room of yes, so that no can no longer enter and delay your presence, its words of comfort. To be a thin place is to be unaware of what tries to crowd your eloquent bend. Fold into your simple so the complex can reduce itself into a thin fold of such complexity that even the divine desires you. Become this beautiful complexity so you are hunted by the divine. It knows your smell, your need, your wilderness, and it longs for you with a love of your brilliance, that it folds you into itself, and it eats your whole I-ness till all life is fed by the ecstasy of your union. The pleasure being brings light into the circumference of the ecstasy of light, like a child who first hungers the body of the mother. To be peeled back into yourself is to become aware of the realm of ecstasy that breath is and it's entered for. To be the place of breath is to know the orgasmic way of love and how it feeds the light inside of your hunger. Be hungry. Be fed. Be need. Be needed. Be love. Be loved. Want desire. Be desired. Desire the beloved. And be desired by the beloved. And breathe. Breathe in the life of light and pass death by. Breathe in an orgasmic mind and an orgasmic will that embodies the desire of the divine. Intention yourself into an orgasmic relationship with the posture of your divine fold that peels away all harsh, unloving, all uneasy, so the breath can reach your orgasmic mind. Pleasure is undefined in the orgasmic way, so that it cannot be altered. The sacred pours through all penetrated marks of time, pushing through to be made matter. Your matter awakens to the push, and you remember why you breathe, and take a deep breath of folding, and the thin of your mind eases all worry and grief. One and one make one, and you know that two only comes through the reach for three. Wisdom reaches you, and you balance on the foundation of four. The mouth quarries the open memory of internal solace. The forward finding of what is sought is made open to itself. The nature of intentional is more recognized, and the potential is made imitated into an imitated volume of matter. The rise and fall of imitated elements move through the elongated reach, and the current is felt equally in both directions. The deep quarried environment is called into the voice. The mouth of intention moves truth into the voice. The complexity of the spoken of the beloved folds into an exact fold of this awareness, and the ease of given is fully made. The intentional spreads open, and the full capacity of the word is felt like a blanket of expression, and the body and the mind is comforted by the colors of this allowing. The climatic of the divine folds into the fine bend of an exquisite companion that knows the matter of your making. Opened is the way, and the folded pours through the compassion of verbal content where movement excels. The purpose of the push is made aware of itself, and the sequence shifts into the flight of excelling potency. The base of content pulls the vision forward, and the cellular potency awakens to the shift in its code. Stay pointed to the vision, and fall into the rapture of desired. Face the face of beauty, and form a square of your intended constancy. Pleasure the need into an open view of the wealth of golden grace of living with the radiance of divine desire and presence. Place the valid into full equation of presence inside of the womb of your position, and be quickened by the pleasure of erasure of what does not know. Be the one who holds. Be the one who longs. Be the one who speaks of the beloved motion of activation. Pulse yourself inside the oracular volume of desire, and elongate into the emotion of being peeled open on the vine. Be placed inside the frame of sides, and emulate the vision of homed. The equal parts of making will potentize your allness, and you will be fulfilled in the oracular need of sound knowing you are. Presence makes the made in an open way of knowing you completely, and the will yearns. Yearn is the will profound, and it presses the moment forward. How can one press into this thinness and remain not made? Made is the awakened fiber of release, and the thin awareness is open to the eye of divine. Pulse is made, volume is made, light is made, and the counter of wisdom requires no more than is. Becoming erased of fear is foundational for the code of life, and this is squared. Tripled is the aspect of need as it begins its rotation into desire, and the fire is placed into the quarter fold. Alchemical resonance is given the pitch it needs, and the heat of love is brought to a high heat of tempered blade. Equation is the tip of its fed blade. The mark is made on the tongue of the word, and the capacity is strengthened to a folded narrow of position, so the asna can be wholly in its revenue, for the folded way of bend into a thin fold of beingness. Awakened is the pulse and the blood of compassion, as it races to the mind of quarry, and the dug sits into you. You push your body temple through the dirt of awakening pitch, and you give yourself the pitch of she, and you are gravel to a smooth culture of grace. Imitating your forces of life, you are called rancid. You know this is the body of earth you seek between your toes, and the numbers of days quicken your time. Placing yourself inside the code of expression, you melt into a thin ooze of motion. First, there is your persona moving through the veil of invisible form, locating itself inside of desire. The heart folds into your matter, and love is your equation. You move the lines of discretion onto your palate, and your maid is multiplied, as if your womb is fruited from within itself. Pitch, and you know who she is. Opening your mind beyond the reversal, you close down the opposite nature and come into the embrace of creed. The creed of wisdom, the creed of being, made as whole I-ness. The spoken swallows you in an orgasmic breath of realm, and you fold like thin paper. You pay the momentum with your pleasure, and the body temple radiates like it is within the golden mean. The pyramidal code activates your cells, and the spin begins to acquire life in a new way. To explain the thin fold is useless. One must emulate and flow into it, and then one fully recognizes its sacred bend. Asnas are from this awareness, but the imitation is not set into the embrace of the ecstasy of embodied presence in a way of the orgasmic flavors of touch. Placing the vision into a four-sided expression gives corners to the vision, and this is counted to the next potency. The folded presence sits within you, and the open nature of your acceptance washes through you, and the allowed pushes you into an open code of numerical willingness that scratches the very salt of your scribe. You awaken to a new reality that you have never known before in matter. You are wise beyond wisdom, and you center the formula of existence into your existed need. An enwonment occurs that folds such a thin course that you are a pinpoint residence of reality. You become the beginning of yourself, and all knows you by your need, and your need is your one and only resonant sound. In this you acquire yourself as property, and you hold the vessel of your matter into a still point of awareness. You pattern the imprint of your lighted being, and the pinpoint volume of space you hold is your infinite potency. A beloved potency that acquires itself as owned and accepted. To will the existential self into its need is to see the infinite perspective of desire. In a potent activation, all is memorized into formation, and the surplus light gives resonance to the directed letter of word. The spinning volume moves room into space, and black codes the volume into what lines existence from its platonic momentum of creating factors of creation. Resonance occurs as source, and the beyond is sourced from this positional radius, and the current of thought is awakened to its numbers. The counted squares the numerical radiance into a potent language of a figured relationship that evolves the line of awareness into light. Form is made and made is form. Prosperity opens the flow, and all is desired as presence. You are the presence, because all you desire is presence. You are no longer alone in your acceptance, because all you desire is presence. This need is the acquired property of a potent presence that is a singular point of reference that holds you in existence in such a potent volume that you are light in awareness of itself as an infinite potential of volume. Sciatica, the infinite P of awareness, that you exist and will not fold until you lift the thickness of your mind into a single warp of speed that gives resonance to the delicate factor of your need, and forgive its grace of realm awareness and the full instant of need. Need, the P, the royal feel of touch, and the embodied response to desire. Forgive your grace and the longing tower of your lighted volume. Let down your thought and allow the tresses to catch your foot of enfoldment. Potentize your royal nectar in the boat of your travel. Sweet pea boat of your cutting force of a thin cut of speed. Relace your lace and pinpoint the golden threads of your mind. You have traveled so far into the pink flesh of your living. Replace the place of foot into the lifted right action of all your life, and potentize your reality of need, and take the P into your hand of potential and eat it fully. Let it float as a boat of your hunger within your juices of desire. Grave the need and allow the bump to flatten and the nourishment of desire to finally be fleshed into your matter. This is the thin fold. What awakens this thin fold into your origamic presence is this open page of awareness that faces the facing. Be faced into your face. And know you are created as love faced into itself, facing this awareness of existence. The page you write upon is will. This will is your activated recognition of the face you mark with your intention to create in the folded presence of your own facing. To penetrate the folded presence is to mark the mark of vision with the pen of a united eye of desire. The imagery pushes through the fiber of matter, and the P becomes the code of circle, being squared into what is. What is made as a sound of the impotent potency, becoming immense in a way of fairy tale. Fairy tale, the oracular way of ancient memory, becoming a code of excellent digestion of the pea. To pass down by mouth is the thin fold of why we eat. Why we hunger is the organ of sound being digested, as the pea of our awareness. Eat, hunger, digest, enfold into the making presence of yourself. The fold you mark with the bone of intention is your own papered fold of sound. Say creed, your momentum of grace. Closure. For taken is this fold of presence, and the desire for the flesh of existence is the potency of the strength of hunger that folds all life into a thinness that partakes of desire as divine.